Well, drivers in downtown Greenville are continuing to deal with the headache of construction. Now another section is closed and businesses in the area are worried about how this will affect them.
Amarachi Uche spoke with businesses in the area and is live now with more. Amarachi.
Yeah, Dave, yesterday this section of Dickinson Avenue was closed off for construction as a part of NCDOT's Dickinson Avenue project. And while the goal of the project is to improve the streets, many say it's putting a damper in their business. Road closed signs cover the streets of downtown Greenville, making it harder for many people to get around.
The detours and finding your way around them was horrible, and there's still some over there that I'm like, if my GPS is working, I'm like, I don't know how to get home.
The closures on Dickinson Avenue are a part of the Dickinson Avenue project. The North Carolina Department of Transportation is closing off parts of the street and sections, with this stretch near 14th Street being the newest part of the project. Pugh's Tire and Service Center is just one of the many businesses impacted. Owner Stacy Pugh says that although the work is good for the city, it has created a hassle.
When customers pull down here, you know, that when we back the car out, we circle the building. And which circling the building means we use Dickinson Avenue, and we can't do that right now.
A hassle Lauren Foskey says she knows all too well, as she works in a section of Dickinson Avenue that was under construction for a while. She remembers the strain it put on business.
Our shops, we had to market a lot more and tell people, people would call, how did I get here? You just have to be patient.
Crews will be upgrading the utilities, sidewalk, drainage, and roadway. Construction on this stretch is set to be done by December 20th, but Pugh says he hopes it is sooner.
We'll be excited to be able to use Dickinson Avenue again to circle our building.
As far as detours, signs are up to direct traffic to use Memorial Drive to 10th Street to Evans Street to avoid construction. Reporting live in Greenville, Amarachi Uche, WITN News.
All right, thanks, Amarachi. And the full Dickinson Avenue project is expected to be completed during the summer of 2026.